Good evening, my listeners and my friends. Allow me to introduce myself and my party, the Lion's Mouth Party. My name is Samantha Sandy, and today I will lay before you for your consideration a new way of looking at the world around us. As a country, no one can deny the greatness of America. We are a country of ingenuity, brilliance, courage, and steadfast faith in the goodness of ourselves and others. We fight our enemies and defend ourselves and those weaker than us from those who would do harm. What has defined America from her beginning is that she truly is a shining beacon for the world, a paragon of liberty, tolerance, and progressive thought. We cannot stop now. We simply cannot afford to stop now. What many of our politicians are suggesting is that we adopt an isolated policy towards the world. To some extent, we admire ourselves in conflicts that do not concern us. Each country has a right to personal sovereignty and to decide its own fate, as we once decided ours not so long ago. Yet, how can we turn an entirely blind eye? We are not just one part of one hemisphere. We live on a globe, my listeners, a veritable hoop that encircles all of us and links us all together. What affects one affects another, and history has taught us that ignoring the inevitable can only lead to grief and suffering for both ourselves and others. I do not propose a continuation of the wars we are in. To do so is a selfish act on the part of our politicians. They don't fight. They do not suffer the weeks, the months, the years away from home and family. They're not affected by it, save perhaps through the polls. As president, I refuse to sacrifice the lives of my fellow Americans. War should ever come into our midst. But instead of preparing constantly for war, I propose that we also prepare for peace and a progressive extradition for the pace of our educational system, our arts, and our industries. Many people accuse us of being a backwards nation for all of our power and wealth. We can prove them wrong. It is time to cease living in the narrow and isolated past, and in solitary confinement, nor will we be driven to it. As your president, I will not strive to mire us in conflicts with others. Having grown up in the Catholic faith, and my conscience being as alert as any of my fellow Americans, my fellow human beings, I see war for what it truly is, a tragic, senseless loss of life on a grand scale that should be avoided at all costs. We are not only Americans, we are citizens of the world, and we have to act the part. Under my presidency, I will place more emphasis on the cultivation of an American intellectual reawakening. I will also place more emphasis on jobs in the United States. I think it is a pity that so many companies overlook the industrious American people in order to skim a quick profit off of those less fortunate. My policies will constitute a new era for America. We will become, again, a cultural center of the world. We will be part of the world and peaceful in it. Enough warmongering based on our differences. It is time to educate ourselves and place ourselves in a position to be a benign influence on the world. Let us improve our standing nationally through our minds and spirits, through friendship with other nations, defiance to dictators and tyrants, and through our own intellect and industry. A country is not made solely by manpower. It is made through men coming together to make something better than what they had. We are the epitome of this America. Thank you and good night.